I was in between like 9
Okay.
or 8.
Okay.
Either way it goes. And I kept telling her, I said, he keeps touching me. She didn't believe me.
Oh, Renisha, you're pregnant by a twin. Huh?
I am.
Oh,
During the case, they basically lied on my name and stated that I had multiple kids. I had 15. It went from 15 to 8 kids.
what's up, DF Dub? It's your boy, your M to the E, coming at you today again with these street signs. And today we're going to be having a conversation with
Renisha Whitaker.
Miss Wanisha Whitaker. Miss Wanisha Whitaker, where you from?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, how long you been in the DFW?
Since I was 19.
Since you were 19?
Yes.
Okay, Miss DFW. How old are you now?
I'm 32.
32? Okay, Miss Renisha. I'm just gonna go with you. Can I call you Renisha? Okay, cool. Okay, Renisha, are you homeless?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Renisha. Well, Renisha, can you tell me and the audience as well, some of the circumstances that kind of led to your homelessness?
Well, I was in foster care at a young age. My mom, she was doing drugs, and so I kind of had a bad childhood at the same time.
Hmm. So, oh yeah.
Yeah,
So, how long were you in foster care?
I was in foster care for a night, almost until I was 19.
You went in at what, when you were a baby?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you ever met your mom?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. How did that go?
Um, well, when I got out of foster care, I decided that I wanted to go find her.
Uh-huh.
And so when I found her, she was doing the stuff that CPS said that she was doing, and so it kind of just led me on the wrong path. I didn't really believe at first that she was doing the things until I saw her myself, and I guess it distanced me from her.
So at that time when you met her, she was still using drugs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So you was about 19 at that particular time?
Yes. And I decided to go find her on my own. Um, they CPS really didn't want me around my family because they felt that they was damaged,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel like they was damaged. I mean, everybody has their ups and downs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she deserved a better chance to be with her kids.
Okay.
Instead of them taking us from her, they could have kept us together. And so what I mean about that is they could have let me see my mom. That way she could have kept going on with life.
Had some type of
You know,
contact with her,
yeah,
if nothing else,
yeah,
during the time you were in the custody of CPS.
yes.
Okay.
So it when I turned 19, I went to go find her. At 21, I came out here to Dallas and I went to the bridge and I entered the bridge. From then on to that, they had me go upstairs, which is upstairs. It's okay, but it's not something. It's like you have to work for your goals to go upstairs. Like you
Gotcha.
have to have a job, you have to have an income, you have to have something stability in order for you to go upstairs.
Okay. Well, look. Let's tackle this. So let's go back a little bit. So what was it like for you? I got you've been in foster care all your life. What was it like for you in foster care?
It was horrible. Like I I couldn't get a cell phone. I didn't grow up with the kids like I wanted to. I was outnumbered. Every time I tried to
You mean
fit,
culturally?
yeah, just in general, like I didn't fit in anywhere I went because they always thought that I had a disability or I couldn't stand up for myself. So they overlooked me
For the most part.
for the most part. And so now that I'm grown, I don't mind being by myself, but it does get lonely.
It does.
It does.
So did you experience any type of physical violence or sexual violence while in, the system?
No, I never experienced it. But while I was with my family, I experienced it. Like my aunt's boyfriend, he raped me at a
Well,
young
when were
age.
you with your family? Because you were in CPS.
Yeah. I was in well at that when I was younger. Before I got placed into CPS, I was with family, but
How
still,
old were you at that time?
I was like around 9. They
Before you got placed in
yeah
CPS. So you was so from the age from the time that you can remember anyway,
yeah
you were with family,
yeah
all the way up until 9.
yeah.
But
But
not with who were you with though? If you weren't with, were you with your
I
mother?
no, I wasn't with my mom, but my mom like she would
She
fight for me
she would
though.
come and go.
Yeah, she'll come and go.
You were with family.
Yeah, I was with family. I was with my aunt, and I lived with my aunt, which is I regretted that day. I wish.
Well, you ain't really had no whole lot of say so at that time.
Yeah, I didn't. It don't matter what you say. It don't
At
matter
a young
what you.
age like that.
Yeah, it don't matter what you say. They're gonna do what they want to do. So, even if I want to go with my mom, I couldn't go with my mom.
No, and it might not have been the best thing anyway,
Yeah.
considering some of the issues that your mother had at that particular time.
Right.
So from the time that you can remember, you were with your aunt or just family, period,
Yeah.
and you while living with your aunt and her boyfriend.
Hmm.
What happened?
So one every day, my aunt she'll go to work, stuff like that, and she would have this one dude. He was all I can remember is that he was bright and he was real tall,
And how old were you at that time?
and I was in between like 9
Okay.
or 8.
Okay.
Either way it goes, and I kept telling her, I said he keeps touching me. She didn't believe me.
Oh wow.
So I grew up with trust issues, um, not like low self esteem issues. I'm just now starting to say that I'm beautiful, stuff
Hmm.
like that. I grew up with insecurity
Yeah.
because of what happened to me. Um,
How long did that go on?
it went on for like maybe four 4 years.
Well, let's make sure we got the time, Saber, right?
No, because
You was in. This happens when you get removed at
I
9.
was I got out of foster care when I was 19. But my whole life, when I was 10, is when I got into, I got back into foster care. That's the actual story. I just don't want to
Well,
say it.
well, I need you because we're trying to we're trying to help others by allowing you to share your story.
Right,
And I just ask that you be as authentic as possible when you're
right.
sharing your story. So to make sure that we got the
So,
times right. So if you're saying that it happened for
right.
4 years, so you're saying that it happened from the age of what? When did it start?
It started when I was a kid,
How old? Any idea?
like between the ages of 9 or 8.
And
But
it went on for till you
I
were
got
what
placed into foster care.
at the age of what?
10.
So it went on for a couple of years
Yeah,
there, okay, and
yeah,
you kind of suppressed that.
yeah.
So, and you say your aunt never believed you?
No, she never believed me, which is it's kind of hard because every time I bring it up, she still gets upset about the whole thing.
Even so, you do still have a relationship with her,
I still have a relationship with her, but I just don't trust her. I don't trust her around me.
and she doesn't want to discuss,
Yeah,
the trauma that was inflicted
but
upon you
when
by
she
possibly one of her boyfriends.
yeah, but when she bring up my mom and her troubles, I get upset about that because I feel like they could have helped her. They could have did more than what they were supposed to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. So we got that out the way. Okay, so Renisha, I'm curious. I'm sure the audience is curious as well. Renisha, at nighttime, uh, when you can't get in the bridge, do you live in the bridge?
No.
No, so at nighttime when you can't get in the bridge, when bridge the shelter, I mean,
Mhm.
uh, where do you guys, lay your head for some type of comfort and security?
I sleep under the bridge. Like,
Like under a real bridge, an overpass.
yeah.
Okay, okay, and you feel comfortable there?
I mean, I'm okay there. I'm
Or
I'm
do you have others with you that you kind of feel comfortable with to look after your back?
yes.
Now I know you told me, or at least in the midst of some of it, you told me that you were pregnant
I am.
by at this time by another individual that I'm looking to have a conversation with named Twin.
Yes.
Renisha, you're pregnant by Twin, huh?
I am.
Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Well, congrats on that.
Thank
You
you.
know, and I hope that works out. Well for for you and for you and twin there. Uh, man. Okay, Renisha, you got a little old piece of story here to tell. But did you ever know did you ever know who your father was while growing up, Renisha?
No,
Hmm? No relation. Even to this day, you still have no relationship with him.
I mean, I saw the last time I saw him when I was in I had a visitation with him, and he told me he couldn't see me no more. So
How old were you at that time?
I was 10. So
You
I
mean he came to up in the system where you
yeah,
were?
he came to the visitation, and I guess at that time they told him that this would be his last time seeing me. He haven't saw me in 32 years, and I don't need him now.
Well, not quite 32 years.
Yeah,
You're 32 now, so it's
yeah,
been 22. But
yeah,
we get it.
22.
We get it. We
Yeah,
get it.
I don't need him
You
now.
haven't seen him
Yeah.
in 22. Did they stop him from coming to see you, or did he just decide that he didn't want to participate in your life like
I
that anymore?
guess he decided, or CPS decided for him.
Okay.
So I don't really know the meaning behind it, but I do know the reason why my mom couldn't see me no more because her rights was terminated, and so I guess that's what happened with him. CPS stopped the whole thing, which is CPS is very crucial.
Well, your mama had some, unfortunately, she had some other issues that were going on
Right,
that were not going to be very, very helpful to you at that particular time, as
right,
long as she was trapped in that cycle
yeah,
of addiction.
yeah.
And that's unfortunate. Do you have some siblings?
I have one sisters and three brothers, and their names are Harmony, Davion, Ronald, and Caleb.
Do you have a relationship with them?
I have a relationship with my sister. I talk to her from time to time. So yeah,
Do you? So does she know you're out here?
yeah.
How is she doing? Well, I mean, does she? What does she think about that?
I mean, she really can't do nothing. Like she has her own life. She has her own babies. I mean, her own child. So I'm trying to do it for myself.
Oh, okay, okay. And you said how many brothers and sisters again?
I have three brothers and one sister.
And she's the only one you really have any kind of contact with? Do you even know where your other siblings are?
Um, two are adopted and one is incarcerated.
Oh, okay. So you know what happened to them.
Yeah, I just don't.
You don't know where they're at though.
Yeah,
But you know some things that what's your name?
Renisha.
Renisha. So another question I would ask is, is there any history of of mental illness with you?
Um, Anxiety and
What do you mean? You've been diagnosed with some type of mental illness?
yeah,
What would that be, Renisha?
anxiety and depression.
Anxiety and depression. That's what you. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I just got diagnosed with that
Did
because
you?
because they took my kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you on any type of medication for that condition?
No,
Did
I
they
just
offer you any?
yeah they offer, but I won't take it.
You won't take it? Okay. You don't think it. You don't think it improves the quality of your life.
No,
You've tried it. I take it, but you didn't
it
think it
does
improved the quality
no.
of your life.
It just drains me, so I'd rather deal with it on my own.
You rather deal with it on your own?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. How about any type of drug abuse, anything of that nature?
No, I don't do
No
drugs.
history of that.
No drugs.
No history of alcoholism, anything like that. There. So I'm assuming, I don't know if I asked this question, but I just want to go back to it again.
Hmm.
Some of the circumstances that led to your homeless was that you got you left the system at
Hmm.
19
Hmm.
with no real skill set, and you know found your way to Dallas,
Yeah,
and you pretty much
I'm,
have.
I'm balancing it.
So have you been on the streets ever since you got here?
No, I mean I had my own apartment, like I said.
How old were you then?
I was 25 when I had my own
What
apartment.
what happened when you got out the system? When
I
did you
was on
find
the streets.
you was on the street when you first got out,
Hmm.
and then you got what? You
I
finally got an
came,
apartment.
yeah, I had my first child, and that's when I got into an
And how old were you when you had the first time?
25. 25. I was 25 years old. I had my first girl,
Uh huh.
and so Basically, when I found out I was pregnant with her, I didn't want to be on the streets with her. And I had to put myself into a maternity home. Once I got into a maternity home, they helped me for a little bit, but
Uh-huh.
with the maternity homes, they want you to follow by the guidelines. Like you can't talk to your family members, can't do nothing. You have to really just um, do what they say. I was put out of a maternity home because the lady was trying to help me get my ID, but I had went to the hospital, and um, one of my family members wound up calling my phone, and so she got upset because one of my family members called my phone and put me out. We had a whole altercation about the whole thing, and so
Were you pregnant at the time?
yeah, I was 5 months pregnant. I had just got out the hospital, and she decided she was like, well, I don't really see nobody here helping you get your ID, and nobody's trying to help you do this and this and this and this. And I just at that time, like, this is my baby, and I'm gonna protect my child at any given time. It was a good maternity home, but will I be able to do it? No.
So you left.
I
So
left.
you left there.
Yeah.
So at that point, did you have an apartment?
When I moved to Fort Worth, when I moved back to Fort Worth, Texas, I went to this place called the Presbyterian for Children, and they helped me get my apartment.
Okay.
And it only took like a year for me to actually get my apartment. I moved in, got my apartment. I was able to have my daughter until she turned 2. And then that's when I found out I was pregnant with my son. And he is the reason why I caught my CPS case. Um, so it was like basically God took away something that I had to show me he's here. Like he was teaching me a lesson.
So you had two kids,
Hmm.
and CPS came in
Yeah.
and took the children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
why did they take the children though?
my son, he stopped breathing on his own. When he stopped breathing, he almost passed away.
Uh-huh.
From my understanding, that was the only thing that was wrong with him. They said he was ne- malnourished
Malnourished,
and
neglected.
neglected. And so when I went to the hospital, from my understanding, the doctor told me that he was going to be fine. All of a sudden, I get a knock on my door, and it's a CPS worker saying, "Oh, you have an open case. Your son is in the hospital. We feel like you can't take care of your kids." And so I opened the door. I let them in, but at this time, I never knew that they was gonna take my
Other child.
my other child. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I work with them, they'll try to help me with some stuff. But no, they basically took advantage of me and just they did the same. They did the same thing to me that they did to my mom.
That
So
happened to you.
yeah,
The same thing is happening with your own children.
yeah.
So you don't even get to even have any contact with
I
them.
don't get to have no contact with my oldest four. I just had a baby September.
Oldest four? How many kids you got, Krishan?
I got four. I mean 5 because I have a set of twins. But now I'm getting ready to have another set of twins.
You've already got a sonogram,
Yeah.
and they said you're pregnant with twins again.
Yes.
So that makes you with 5 kids.
Yes. So basically, when during the case, they basically lied on my name and stated that I had multiple kids, which is I don't have multiple kids. One, they said that I had 15. It went from 15 to 8 kids. They said I had a mental problem. They said all this stuff, but they never had any proof. When they took me to court, they didn't have the proof. So I never really got to state my case.
Okay.
I would have been in my kid's life. Unfortunately, they're not here with me. I miss my babies. I just want my kids.
I hear you,
That's
Krishan.
it.
I hear you, Krishan.
Yeah.
So let me just. So after they take your children from you,
Mhm.
right? That's what we're at in the story right now.
Yeah.
They take your children and you leave. At that point, that's when you become
Homeless.
homeless and come out here to Dallas.
Yeah.
And at you're how old at that point?
I was 30. Well, no, I was 31 when they because I was still living in Fort Worth
When
at
they took
that
the
time.
last year, and you were
Yeah,
31, and
yeah.
you're what?
I'm 32 now,
You're
so
32.
I just came back
You
to
just came,
Dallas.
so you come back to Dallas,
Hmm.
and that's when you find yourself in this situation of
Hmm.
homelessness.
Right.
And you were you ever in the shelter,
Yeah, I was in the shelter.
the bridge up
The
there?
bridge.
Okay,
So the reason why I left the bridge is because, for one, they don't like when you're cold, you don't have a blanket. So even if you go up there and you tell them, "Hey, I need a blanket," you don't get a blanket. You don't have a blanket, so you're stuck in there and you're freezing your butt off for no.
eventually though you might have gotten a blanket. They do have some resources though. They have plenty of
They
resources.
have resources, but the resources are very hard to find.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, they have the resources
yeah,
to do that with.
right.
Nisha,
Hmm.
should anyone want to possibly donate or help you in any kind of way, do you have an email or a cash app?
Yes. Renisha Whitaker, 2020, 2021, 2022 at
Well,
gmail.com.
well, Anisha, you're gonna have to spell that out. You know what I'm saying? So to make sure that they get that, Renisha, spell it out for them.
It's RENISHAWHITAKER 2022, 2021 at gmail.com. And my cash app is Renisha Whitaker 2020. And I also have a PayPal, which is you can just type in Renisha Whitaker.
Look at you.
Yeah.
If one of your friends or family should see this video, is there your mother possibly, or even your father? You never know. If they should see this video, is there anything that you would like to tell them or
I,
say to them?
I made it without them. I'm strong. So
Okay, right on, right on, right on. You still standing,
I'm still
you know,
standing.
and hope springs eternal. I got that. I got that. I got that. Well, Krishan, I want to thank you for having a conversation with me, and you know, I as well as the audience, I'm sure, will continue to pray for your well-being. But I'm sure we'll be doing some follow-ups because I know there are brighter things on the horizon for you. I just believe that. Okay. Well, thank you, Keyshawn, and be blessed.
You too.
DF Dub, we out.